Hello and welcome to Alternate Image Raid. This is the Raid Shadow Legends video, and today we're going to tackle Hard, Doom Tower, Bommal, and we're going to do the Samar Gemcursed cheese, which you could have seen elsewhere. And mine is very similar in theme to what everybody else is doing, but I just want to show you that it can be done. This isn't super budget, but it does not take away Latout to get it done. What you are going to need is you're going to need a speed lead. I have Mother Cybele. She is my best speed lead in all battles. And then the rest here are just here for damage to get the waves done faster. These aren't necessarily the best choice or the only choice for that. So feel free to diversify your roster there. And then I'm going to show you the team setup. I'll discuss a little bit more at the end of this too. But I just want to show the first waves don't matter. However, once we get to round 3, the actual boss, we're going to turn off things that cause buffs, because if buffs go on to our Samar, it could cause problems, reduce consistency of this run. Turning off buffs, reducing this turn meter chance. Of course, Archmage isn't the best because its A1 does have turn meter effect, so there's probably better champions you could do for this than what I have. But I just want to show you that it doesn't take even an amazingly set up champion to do this. You do want to make sure that your A1s are not going to proc, Evil Eye, things like that, if possible. And then for Samar, on the last one, we just want his A1 to go, so that is how this AI is set up. All right, let us get into this run. So I'm just gonna show this here. We're gonna show the first couple of waves, get to Bommal. I will have this whole thing all sped up because it does take a long time. Just kind of watch, if you're interested in watching exactly how it goes down, to sort of watch the timing of the the bombs on Bommal and Samar, and how we are able to most of the time make sure that both of the bombs go off on the same turn. Right before we go, our shield comes up and enables us to get this boss down. Obviously, after this, we're going to go all the stats. Masteries, a little bit more discussion about how this whole thing functions and why it works. So if you need to skip to the end, check that out. Otherwise, this run is kind of interesting to watch anyway, and just see how one champ can solo such a hard boss. Well, so that worked. Like I was saying, it's not a 100% chance. In filming this, I did have to do this twice to get it through to work, but it does. It is not quick. This run was actually my fastest time. And so it's not really great for like farming this necessarily, but it is good for getting your points and your initial rewards right away. However, it seems at this point have maybe for me 50-60% win rate. So you could set this to go do something else for an hour, come back, at least have half of your keys won. But let's go check out the stats. We're going to ignore the stats on all of these guys because they don't matter. So the only thing I will note is none of these guys have blessings that are, or at all, I guess, but that are relevant to this mission. And we have, done a couple things in the AI. So here doesn't matter for the last round. On the AI, we turned off this ability and this ability on the last round to make sure they didn't put buffs on our Gemcursed. This guy didn't matter, and again, we turned this off for the last round. This isn't necessarily the best champion for this because this A1 does increase the odds that we have those extra bombs. They don't seem to matter. However, getting somebody who doesn't have a turn meter A1 would be smart enough. This team isn't mandatory other than getting the speed out of Mother Cybele, because she is one of the fastest, if not the fastest, speed in all battles, at least the fastest that I have available to me. So we use her for the speed, and then everybody else just kills the waves and does a little bit of damage. So Samar Gemcursed, this is the dude that is making this possible, and that is, again, for him, we actually turn off everything on the AI for these. We just want this extra turn meter. If he has more than 50% HP, he takes more turns, and if he has less, he heals extra, just keeps him going. The healing is important. So the sets are essentially mandatory here. I don't know how this could be done without having one regen set and one immortal set. This just is healing per turn. You'll see every turn he healed 20,000 or so each time, and that is just necessary. So stats wise, I have 84,000 HP. Getting more will be more consistent, although obviously this is hard to reach. Defense, I think about 3,000 is what you're going for. Again, more is fine, but it's not going to be terribly important. The biggest thing is HP, although as much defense you can get. My speed, I think, is considered too low, but there are other places the speed comes in. And then crit rate and crit damage don't really matter. Obviously, more is just going to get it done faster, which will increase a little bit of consistency, but he's getting most of his damage from his Masteries. The Masteries in next place. This is very important for this particular champion. So this actually matters. Unlike most of them where I just go, okay, we go down to War Master, and now we do just go down to War Master. For the sense of this part, this is where most of the damage is coming from. But we're also going to increase damage with 50% HP or less, because we often are. Obviously, crit damage. This heal is incredibly important. Just more things to keep ourselves alive. And then Whirlwind of Death increases the speed. And so there's a little bit of RNG on here, since I do let this whole thing go on auto. If he gets 3 kills during those waves, then he will get up to 18 speed. This is generally considered necessary to get the speed requirements to take enough turns that his passive shield comes back. I'll show you that in a second. I think I skipped that one. Prior to when the 2 big bombs go off. Increased damage for dead allies. They're always going to be dead allies, so an extra 10% damage. And again, if he has killed 3, we are going to have an additional 9%, up to 12% damage. All important stuff. Additional 10% damage on the A1, which is all we're going to be using. And then, of course, the enemy has higher max HP. So we want HP. We want the heals that he casts being higher. I'm pretty sure this does affect all of these sets and stuff like that we've done, but I'm not 100% sure there. Increases the amount of healing for 40 HP or less, 40% HP or less. Again, I believe this applies to him, although it's not the most important thing we're going here. Same thing, although we won't actually have any of these debuffs. But this is a guaranteed 24 speed, because all of the team will be dead every time. That is part of this cheese strategy with this champion. So we're trying to go faster, and we're trying to go, which one was it? This one? Faster, because, it's really difficult to get 80,000 HP and the speeds we need. We need him to be going at, I remember, something like 290 speed, give or take, once we add 24 speed, once we add 18 speed to what we have. Like getting up to 270, 280, 290. I've seen people who are able to get their champion actually to 260s, 270s, and they claim it gives a more consistent run. It probably does. And so the other main thing with this champion that actually the main thing that enables him to get this done is this passive effect. So Blocks incoming damage and places a block damage buff on this champion for 1 turn when they receive a hit that would drop their HP below 30%. Part of that will notice that some of these hits, he doesn't actually even go below 30% because the hit would have dropped him and the buff goes up first, which is really clutch for keeping him alive. But either way, the speed is necessary, A, just for the amount of turns to take to proc all those healing things so he stays alive, but also we have to go through this 4-turn prior to those 2 bombs coming back and blowing up. If we don't, we will lose every time, and I don't think there's a way around that. So my speed requirements that I have going on are probably as low as you can get away with. And again, it's not as consistent. What's interesting for this is I wasn't planning on doing this video on this rotation because I wasn't planning on getting this killed. I just hit next. I have not killed this prior to this week. And I noticed that I wasn't even looking at it, and I noticed I got the kill. I'm like, oh, this works now because my stats have increased slightly over time due to things like my faction guardians. The last time I messed with this, I got this extra 10% attack, which isn't massive, but it is something. And then I have also increased my Great Hull by a little bit, getting some of these crit damage and attack, defense, HP stats up. So he's just a little bit stronger than he was previously, which just increases that that chance for success. And I just crossed the threshold, probably on HP, that enabled me to get it done. A little bit lower than this, and it probably won't work. So this isn't really like a budget-friendly build, because he is going to need stats that are this high or higher if you want a consistent run. Resistance doesn't particularly matter. We're not going to get high enough to be able to actually resist. Accuracy doesn't matter at all. We're not trying to land any debuffs, and we don't want to. And so really, again, it's just speed, defense, or sorry, HP, defense, and speed. And then as much damage as you can stick on him while you're doing that. But you're not going to be able to focus there. More HP is going to be better than getting any extra attack or crit damage onto this guy. So yeah, this is pretty exciting. It's nice to see the build work. I had kind of left this probably for 2 rotations since I last actually tried to mess with him to get this going. And the recent, some of the recent power increases in this game have kind of made it possible. I had the opportunity to get him a blessing at one point. I could have bought it from the store, but I didn't find one that seemed to be a guarantee to make this work. Obviously, if you got a high tier blessing, you're just going to get, you know, stats on him, which would be really nice. Cruelty would be something that I would be not unhappy to see, just increased damage taken. Thinking about that, I might even put, if I had a champion with cruelty that wasn't going to mess up buffs or turn meter, might put that on this team to get some of this decreased defense on the target. I don't know actually if that stays up if the target dies. I assume it does, or if the champion dies, but of course, if you were to say get like a 4-star, get the 1000 HP, crit damage, attack, along with that, you know, something like that on this guy would be very nice for getting this to be a consistent run. Yeah, I'm pretty excited. This is again not really budget friendly, but you don't have to be, you know, crazy with all legendaries. Obviously, I only have a para-legendary here. They're not all, not every piece is 6-starred because this is just what's available. And I have not messed with this for at least 2 rotations. So, you know, 6 months more gear, I probably could make him stronger. I just haven't had a chance or been thinking about it to actually build him up. So, you know, if you're, you know, 6 months to a year in the game, you could probably start to go after something like this, because it's been, again, more than 6 months since I actually messed with this gear, particularly with some of the new things we have for gear, such as, you know, the ascension on the gear to get extra stats. Like, there's a lot of ways you could increase your power and make it much more accessible to get to these stats. So let me know in the comments if this video had any value to you, if you like seeing this. Of course, I'm sorry guys, I have not posted a lot of videos recently. Just been busy, and you know, sometimes motivation is tough to keep up on this sort of thing, particularly when other things are going on in life. So yeah, let me know if this video is interesting. Obviously it shows most of the people right away, and this rotation's almost done. I shouldn't even post it yet. However, I'm going to, just so when the next rotation does come up, or for the next couple of days, if you know, see this and are like, oh, this actually can be done. It's still hard, but it doesn't take somebody who is wailing out to do it. As always, this has been an alternate image raid video. If you like, if you love, sub, and if you dislike, smash that dislike button. And of course, have a great day.